Thank you for listening. If you want to know more about us and our services, please visit our website at www.wsk9co.com.
So I have Michelle, and I don't know if you've met any of these guys. Michelle and Melissa and Shannon here. And our February podcast is on matchmaking.
I like it.
Yeah. So we all have questions for you, and just want to talk about the overall experience that you have with Little Reaper, and just kind of your journey with. We've done some funny cat matchmaking stuff with Mochi as well. So we kind of want to talk about that whole thing. So first, Miyo, just tell us a little bit about you and your lifestyle and who you are. And then we'll go from there.
Okay. So my name is Miyo Strong, and I have 2 children, 7 and 11, married. I work part-time as a photographer and part-time as a jiu-jitsu athlete. So I have a super active lifestyle and very busy. My daughters are both very involved in school, so outdoor activities and dance. And so balancing work and, household duties and athletic endeavors. We have a busy household, but we're also crazy animal lovers.
Yep. So tell us about Mochi.
Oh my gosh, the most perfect, ideal canine ever on this planet. That's our Mochi.
Yes.
She is a Great Dane. She's a Harlequin Great Dane. She's 8 years old, and she trail runs with me all the time. We've had her on a grain-free diet because when we first were researching large breeds, we had heard that there were a few studies out there that had shown that had helped, kind of lengthen their lives, because we were really sad to hear that they have, only a 7 to 9 year lifespan typically. But we got her when I had a newborn. My youngest was a newborn at home, and we didn't really have a ton of control over when Mochi came to our house because we had just been on this waiting list forever, and we had known we wanted this, puppy from this very specific mother. Her mom, Mochi's mom, was a seizure assist dog, and I had worked with her and met her and photographed her and just had loved this dog since day one. So I knew if she ever had a litter, I wanted one. So Mochi came to us kind of at not the best time, and thank the Lord, Joe came and helped us because, a large breed like this, even as puppies, they're the size of a medium-sized dog, I swear.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was hard to handle. But with some few basic commands, like on your bed, leave it, and teaching her to walk on a leash next to the stroller, I feel like those 3 things were life-changing for our our lifestyle.
Yeah, I think Mochi's the only dog that is the most ill-behaved when I'm around.
Because she's crazy about you.
Yeah.
She just, all of her senses go out the window.
She's like, I have no idea what I know. I just know that I need to be with you. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. She
loses her mind.
So as we went through the journey with Mochi, there was, I want to say when Mochi was 3-4-ish is when I got the request from you for, I think we want another dog.
Yes.
And that's when I shifted everything to a cat.
Yes.
Right?
And thank goodness that my, my husband and my oldest daughter are cat people, and I have severe allergies, so it didn't even ever cross my mind until you had some good suggestions.
Yeah. So I just didn't feel like a dog was really, it just wasn't ready yet for where life was for you guys, where Mochi was. and really describing what the reason for the second dog. It really felt like the cat direction. So we went and met some hairless cats because of allergies.
Yeah, that was crazy because I had never even. It just didn't cross my mind because we had gone to the pound a few times and I had sat in Cat City and said, okay, let's just see. Maybe if I don't touch them, like we tried to make it work and I just was allergic. It never did work. And so, we went to visit. I think they were a client of yours, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. The
Mr. Biggles.
Gosh, what was that cat's name? I still remember him.
Mr. Biggles.
Bobo or something.
Mr. Biggles.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like, I couldn't believe it. And my kids loved him. They didn't care how ugly he was.
Yep.
Or strange.
Yep. And
the most important thing, I had no reaction to him whatsoever physically. So that was awesome.
Yeah. So what did a cat do for your family and Mochi?
Oh my gosh, so much. It's weird. I can't imagine our life now without a cat, and I am definitely not a cat person. But, it's pretty amazing because that natural inclination from my husband and my oldest daughter to be cat people, and they just, their lifestyle is that, and that cat knows, of course.
Yep.
So just somebody snuggly to sleep with and somebody to, and actually sphinxes and are such like tiny dogs. Their personalities are so social and outgoing, and so it fit in with our lifestyle. We're kind of the fun family party house, and we always have the friends over, and everyone wants to see our weird animals.
Yep.
Our giant dog and our hairless cat.
Yep.
And they love it. And Mochi, it was exactly as you described it. Mochi, especially at 3 and 4 and 5 years old, was kind of, in her prime and still lopey and huge and not the fastest reflexes.
Yep.
And so the cat, has always been able to get out of the way and kind of make their own rules with how much they want to tolerate the dog or interact with the dog. And they have this funny relationship because, of course, we've had a couple of sphinxes, and they have all ruled the roost.
Yep.
This tiny 10, 12-pound cat rules this 130-pound dog.
Yep.
It's been awesome.
So with this new journey, you've moved kind of into life routines. The girls are older. And helping out a little bit more. And so now it's time for the next dog. And
it's been interesting.
Yep, go ahead.
Oh, go on.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, Maya, our 7-year-old, she's going to be 8 next month, but she's been asking and begging for a puppy for a couple years. And I forget that she was the newborn when Mochi was a puppy, so she really doesn't remember like that really fun for kids, not for necessarily for the moms, but that fun stage of potty training, when the puppies are so adorable. And so she kind of missed that with Mochi. And I, just the more she started asking and talking, and we started doing our research, and then this summer, we had a little incident on the trail that kind of just solidified that, Mochi's 8. Like, I really need to realize that she's not going to be able to run 6 miles every day with me. And not that I run 6 miles every day, but those longer trail runs kind of are getting to the point where they're too much for her, and she's slowing down. And she's in great health, but we just have to start watching that.
Yep.
And so, when I reached out to you and said, okay, what do you recommend? Do we wait until she passes to get a new one, or do we introduce one now, or what, given our lifestyle and the ages and everything, and the incessant begging from my children,
right? How
do we proceed?
Yep. And so we had been communicating back and forth, and knowing you, Miyo, it didn't surprise me that all of a sudden you had a puppy. Yeah, and it made me super angry. What are you doing? Right? Because I think we kind of somewhat agreed on a breed of sorts. I mean, it was kind of like this. I think you guys should look at this. And then all of a sudden you have this puppy.
Yes. And I'm so glad that you had talked to me about the larger breeds, because that'll be in our future, because that'll be my dog. But right now, this dog, fits the perfect little puzzle piece for our children and family.
Right, right. So what was your what was the drive to? I know I'm not always the quickest to get back, but what was the drive for you to just go get a dog without me?
I think it was the constant nagging from my children.
Yeah.
And I went over and saw Harvey at Laura's, and I had never really, I wanted, a pit bull or a cane corso or one of those tough bully breeds. Like, that fits my personality.
Yep.
But my children, they really want a dog they can pick up and haul around and, have them sleep in their bed. And so a French bulldog kind of became this middle ground, because they have short hair, which was a requirement for me.
Yep.
Pretty low maintenance. And one of my teammates, actually at the jiu-jitsu school, owns a pet store, like the worst puppy mill you can think of, like that kind of a store. But he actually had some good points to tell me, and I listened. I'm pretty open-minded. So we went and looked at, he had a French bulldog and then 3 other hypoallergenic smaller dogs.
Uh-huh.
And I took Maya, and we looked at all of them, and I just realized that those specific dogs were not for us, but that I really liked the French bulldog, but that specific dog wasn't really what we were looking at. So then the KSL search started, and we've been having nice weather, because I kept telling the kids, no, we have to wait till spring, because I don't want to potty train when there's snow on the ground.
Yep.
But so it just, and that's kind of me. Like, once I decide on something, it's like, okay, where are we going? Let's do this.
Yep. And what was, there was a turning point of things that happened behind the scenes that I don't know that you're aware of. And one was, I do yoga with Jenny twice a week, and just started back up. And so Jenny, we were talking about it, and Jenny's like, oh, and she wants a Frenchie, and da-da-da. And I'm like, oh, I have the perfect one for her. And that's what I said to Jenny. Then I literally, I think a couple of days, and I got a text from you that you had already gotten one. No, you had sent over a picture of this dog that I'm like, yes, that's because she had put in there that, the dog had been trained under Western states and da-da-da-da. And, but I think I was delayed in getting back to you about it all. And then then it was, I have a puppy now, I think, is kind of how it all went. So, so it was kind of funny and on top of it, we were heading out of town to go to Montana. So,
oh, that's right.
Yeah. So what made you be okay with taking the puppy back and getting this other dog?
Oh, man. Yeah. So I think it was night one. just having, it's like you get a newborn, and I think my brain forgot how hard newborns are.
Right.
And also, we looked at 3 different litters, and we picked the puppy that was the mark. I mean, we were attracted to the black and white because he matched Mochi. But we just, and it was weird because when we went over to look at the puppy, we loved the mom. The mom of the puppy was so great and so active and whatever. And, just they were good at putting that sense of urgency on us. And I always have a sense of urgency when I want something done. So we just kind of pulled the trigger. And honestly, we pulled the trigger without a contract. They had nothing. Like, I couldn't find them on Facebook. This was their first litter. I did find them on KSL, but this was the first litter, experience selling dogs, and he was the very last one of the litter. And that should have been a red flag.
Yep.
Because they were a little bit older. But it wasn't until I talked to you that I was like, oh my gosh, not only is this, crazy hard to do the puppy thing again, and also he was so small. He was 8.5 weeks that Mochi was like stepping on him, and like I could just see that this wasn't going to work. And also he was so small, the front steps he couldn't even get up or down.
Yeah. And
so that just meant having to carry him out in the middle of the night, and I just didn't have a great feeling, like, because with my busy competition schedule, jiu-jitsu and work, and of course my kids are always going to be the priority over the animal.
Right.
I just felt like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. So
yeah,
it was a tough decision, but I knew it was the right one to take him back.
Right. Me too. So tell us about, tell us about, her original name was Lucy, and she is now Reaper.
Yeah. Reaper. Yep.
Yep.
She's amazing.
Good. What's been your biggest challenge with her?
I don't know. She's really so good. Like, we had a little bit, like, she's an escape artist because our fence is for a Great Dane.
Right.
So,
yep.
Of course, a 9-month-old French Bulldog fit places that we didn't really actually ever think.
Yep.
But she's so great on recall that, she's been out a few times, and, we recall her and she comes back. But really, I mean, and this is not her fault, but she snores so loudly.
Yeah.
Like my kids were like, oh, we really want a dog. We're going to train her to sleep in the bed.
Yeah.
And, we worked on it, and literally both girls tried, and they just like, no, she's so loud. I can't have her in my room.
Yep.
So she does now sleep by Mochi because Mochi snores. My husband snores. I just have to put earplugs in, and it's fine.
Right. Perfect.
Yeah.
What's that?
But we did decide, too, that she can't sleep on our bed because our cat, Nala, we want to kind of give her some safe space, too. So we decided that our bed would be off limits for... it's our bed and furniture is always off limits to Mochi, the Great Dane.
Right,
but for the smaller Reaper, we thought, maybe the beds. But ours, we decided, is off limits. That's cat territory. She needs to feel safe. So that's worked out fine.
Great. What as she matures, the snoring might get less. Sometimes they do. So that may be something to look
and it's
forward to.
interesting because now that we're working with her on her bed, command and having her on the leash there, the cat is more inquisitive and takes it slower and approaches now, whereas because she knows she's safe.
Yep.
And that the dog's not going to chase her.
Right. Yep, for sure. Michelle, what questions do you have for Miyo?
Thinking. Since you just went through this process, if you could give advice to anybody getting a new puppy, what would your advice be?
That's a good one. I think it's good to do research online, but I think it's also imperative that you talk to you guys in person too. Just because of all the weird breeds in the world, you've probably had exposure to all of them in person. So there's always a different experience once you've actually handled or been around or met those certain breeds. Because meeting them in person is important. And actually, when Joe and I touched base about Lucy, who is now Reaper, before I had made the final decision to take this other, the 8-week puppy back, I went over and just met Lucy in person to make sure, okay, I love her. She's amazing. The owner is amazing, and she's not, getting rid of her because she's some crazy dog that, she's not willing to tell us about. And she was small enough that my children would still get the puppy experience. Like, they can still pick her up and carry her around over their shoulders, and, we take her in carpool with us, and they just pass her around. So, yeah, meeting them in person, I think, and talking to a professional that has hands-on experience with the breed.
Nice. I love her name, her new name, by the way. I think it fits her so much better. Melissa?
So when you got Reaper, did you notice any personality changes in Mochi, or kind of did Reaper bring out a different side of Mochi?
Yes, it's so crazy, but it's like the funnest thing to watch them play, because Reaper's big enough that she can handle, a little bit of roughhousing, and Mochi is, like, honestly the most ideal, perfect dog on this planet. And so she just will lay down to play with her, and they just go at it. Like, they have such a fun time, and yeah, it's perked up Mochi for sure. And I feel like she rests better. Yeah. I don't know. She used to kind of be a little bit restless at night, and now she just is out for the count. And I think it's because she's mentally more stimulated with the puppy around, and then she's physically a little bit more stimulated as well. In fact, we took them both out for a hike on the trails, and Reaper was, Reaper's a puppy. She's, she was just being a little terror.
Yep.
And Mochi just was almost showing off, like how perfect she was. She would kind of try to help herd Reaper back, then she'd come back and be like, "See, Mom, like, I'm it." Like,
yep.
This is our space. So it's been so fun. I mean, Mochi and Reaper are like, I don't know, like from twins, the little tiny
yep.
DeVito and the big Arnold
yep.
Schwarzenegger. That's how they are.
Yeah, totally. Shannon, what questions do you have?
What do you think it was the hardest or scariest thing for you to add a new dog to your family, and what's been like the most unexpectedly fun part about it?
I think the hardest and scariest thing for me was the responsibility, because, I mean, honestly, I'm the one that's going to be the main caregiver for every being in my household.
Yep.
So that's adding one more thing onto an already full plate. So I was nervous that, like, okay, is everybody getting everything they need? But it's been a pretty seamless transition. She is just a great dog, and Mochi is amazing, and my kids, both. I actually made them write up and sign a contract before we decided to get the dog, because they have daily chores, and one of them includes, feeding the dog and feeding the cat and whatever. So we had to add in playing with the dog, walking Reaper, because they actually don't really like to walk Mochi too much. I think they're just intimidated by her size, because Mochi's perfect on a leash and she's great on the trail and whatever. But they love to take Reaper all over the neighborhood and show her off. So that contract also includes, cleaning up after the dog, helping the dog, and that has been a pleasant surprise. They have stuck to that. I've only had to bring that up once with my youngest. Like,
nice.
Hey, you signed on the dotted line here.
Yeah.
Good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
Work with the dog here.
Yeah. That's great. Miyo, what questions do you...
And let's see.
What was your other?
I was just going to make sure I answered both of them. So the scary question and then the pleasant surprise question.
Yep.
Okay, as long as I cover both. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. So what questions do you have for us?
Well, nothing really. I think I just have confidence and security knowing that you're there.
Yeah.
I think knowing that, like, when we are ready to go to the next step with Reaper's training, like, you're there.
Yep.
And if we have any health problems or concerns or weird behavioral things or anything, I have, this whole team, and especially Joe behind us, supporting us. And God, I don't know, Joe. We've known each other like over a decade, I swear.
I know, that's crazy.
And so I feel like you get it.
Yeah.
Like you understand. I trust you, your expertise, and so if I need help, I know where to go.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're here. I think I remember standing in the shower with Chris, and I'm like, I don't even know what she's thinking. Why would she do that? Why would she do that? Miyo, why would Miyo do that? And you know, so it's just it's funny. Of course, I know why Miyo did it, but I love the fact that you were open enough to trust the whole process and be open enough you had to fight some battles to take that puppy back.
Oh yeah, it was not easy.
Yeah, even getting an attorney involved.
Yes.
And so, you know, and this still isn't over because I'm assuming you still haven't been refunded money yet.
Actually, we were refunded. They sold the puppy like within a week.
Good.
And the second it was taken down off of KSL, I called them and was like, "Hey."
Yeah. Yep.
Just checking in.
Right. Right. Haven't forgot about this. Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
And they were great. We called it good. I mean, I did lose a deposit, which I chalk up to a very expensive mistake on my end, but I'm okay to take responsibility for that. And we are like just in heaven with this puppy. Like she's seriously amazing. But I knew when you told me she was amazing, I'm like, okay, it's over. We're done. We're good. Give her, where is she?
Yeah, I really appreciate you trusting that and going through that journey with me. There's always that piece of me, and Michelle and Melissa have the same when we're working through picking out dogs for people. When you just have it, it's it, and you know, my dog soul and everything with this, you know, with Reaper is, you know, this, like, it couldn't have been perfect timing. Like, she belongs with you guys. And so I really, really appreciate you being open enough to go through this process with me. Because
my gosh. Well,
it'll
I'm
be
like so glad you were there.
I'm glad I was there too. It worked out really well. Michelle, Melissa, do you guys have, Shannon, do you have any? Miyo, we'll let you know when this is up and going, but we'll be posting these through the month of February for matchmaking.
Oh my gosh, I love it. So
cool.
Fun. I can't wait to listen to the other stories too, because it seems like everyone's unique.
Yep.
Thank you for listening. If you want to know more about us and our services, please visit our website at www.wsk9co.com. And as always, we urge you to get out and train.